I mean, that's the great thing that I really like about just the cheese. And, I'd love for you to answer how you make it, because you've explained it to me before, but I'm still so perplexed with how it can taste this good and how it is literally only cheese.
I mean,
in the
you just
ingredients.
explained
And
it.
because I love it. Like, you're talking about yours. What's that?
You answered your own question. Why does it taste so good?
Well, what was the answer?
Cheese.
It's just cheese. Yes, I know. But how do you make it? It's so, you need to go through the process of how you make it, because I still don't understand. Well, maybe that's a trade secret though. But like, I just think like it's healthy, it's delicious. I love it for, packing for my son. Like, it's hard to find stuff that you can just throw in your purse that, at least for me, like I never follow a diet, but I really want things that are just like natural ingredients, doesn't have a ton of stuff in it that I can't pronounce. That's kind of, I would say, like the diet I follow, if that is a diet even. And so, for my son, you have a young, and your eldest kid is the same age. Yeah, is the same age as my son, and just like picky, but loves just the cheese bars, and I feel good feeding it to him. So like, yeah. Anyway, how do you make it?
Yeah. So the short story is we make the cheese ourselves, and like that's the trick. Is like, hey, we make this stuff ourselves, and we have sort of a special baking process. But the gist of it is like, hey, we're a cheese company, so we make the cheese, and the cheese on its own tastes good. And then we shred it up and put it in little cookie cutter molds and put it in an oven, and that's it. So like the reason it
how does it not just melt? Is it like in a mold, or is this trade secret stuff? Are we getting into some really stuff we shouldn't be talking about? You're gonna have some competition
we're
soon.
tiptoeing, but you're a Wisconsinite, so none of this is like super secretive. So there are certain types of cheeses that don't melt. So okay. Like Indian folks eat paneer, and that stuff that doesn't melt. So you can make cheese that doesn't melt. The tricky part is when you bake it or cook cheese that doesn't melt, the flavors can get kind of funky. And so picking stuff that tastes good and figuring out how to make stuff that tastes good, able to withstand the baking process, is like the actual skill behind. Like we have really talented cheesemakers, and they're the guys that figured it out. And so the
it's so cool. And then once you figured it out, you went on Shark Tank.
I did, and believe me, they asked about it too. But there's lots and lots of baked cheese companies out there. The cool thing is we're good enough at this that we're the only ones that make bars. So like most companies out there have like little rounds or little chips, which we do also. For me, I just like the bars because I like the extra crunch. And what's really, really funny is my daughter, who's 3.5, I don't know about your son, she like from day to day, things she likes and then hates. It's just like, I can't get anything consistent.
No.
One of the few snacks that she's like, she calls it just, I want crunchy cheese. Because like you showed a fancy little package. I bring home all the R&D samples and the tape samples in clear bags. And she's like, I want crunchy cheese.
Oh, my son Stanley, he likes the jalapeno one. And he always says, I want the spicy cheese. I want the spicy cheese.
So I'm going to tease your son a little bit. So he is a Wisconsinite. He's a Midwesterner that he thinks that's appropriately spicy. Because my wife carries hot sauces in her purse. And so when we were first doing the development of jalapeno, her and I were like, this isn't hot enough. And everyone who works with us is a delicate Midwesterner. And they're like, oh God. And so we compromised that they needed to drink water after eating it. And we were like, acceptable. And that was the compromise. None of us were happy about it.
That's sad. Well, know that customers are happy. My son loves it.
That is what matters.
I think it's great. Like I don't think it's too spicy, and I'm a Midwesterner. I think it's perfect.
So how do you have energy to be a performance athlete? Like it's different now because like the infant wakes me up multiple times, but even before number 2 came along, I I can't even conceptualize like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like working out for an hour, and then like I come home and have to deal with a preschooler. I'm like, look, I don't have my mental faculties. I'm a little sore. Can we just take it easy? And can you walk, like, what does your normal training look like? And then coming home to deal with a kid. That's insane to me.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
absurd.
I feel like my son is so good. Like, you know, I nap when he naps. He still takes a 2-hour nap every day, which is
Okay, we're
saving
done
me
now.
right
I
now.
hate you. I hate you forever. We're done.
He's a very good sleeper. So yeah, I mean, you know, I wake up and normally I do some prehab exercises in the basement, and normally my son's crawling on top of me, and I'm like, just give me 2 minutes. I just need 2 minutes of you not crawling on me, and then I will let you do whatever you want.
You're on
So, like,
your
that's
phone
kind of how my
and
morning.
he lies on top of you, and you're like, oh God, no,
Yes.
stop.
Yes. And I'm always like, I'm very fragile, my back. Like, because when you work out so much, everything hurts. And I'm also like scared that he's gonna like, and he's done this before, like get a hip out of alignment or, you know, something, get a rib out, and then it affects my daily job. Like, anyway, yeah, that's how the morning starts. And then I go for like an hour and a half run. Have a snack, usually just a cheese, and then head into gym and do gym for about an hour. And so, like, you know, I have a fabulous husband who is taking care of our son during this time. And then once I'm home, I'm on duty like from lunchtime until nap is over. So that's from like 11 to 4 is lunch, and then we play, and then both nap, and then I go for another run. And we play a little bit. I don't know. I feel like it's, you know, it's exhausting, but I also don't have a job and have to work out. You know, I feel like it's different. Like, my job is to work out. And yeah, I'm exhausted sometimes. Like, he's a very high energy kid, so he always wants to walk or bike or, you know, run. And I'm just
got that from his Olympic endurance athlete. You know,
my husband says he's actually like, you ran too much during pregnancy. He's like, you wound him up like a little top, and then like now he's just like unwinding. So that's what he thinks, why he has energy. But yeah, I mean, sometimes, you know, he wants to like race me, and I just am like, oh, I don't think I can do another step, which is
Mommy's
exhausting.
IT bands are a little sore, so it's not going to happen.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's, you know, we live in Oregon and we don't have family here, so it's just us. But yeah, my husband's super supportive, and I feel like you just get used to it, right? Like with a newborn, it's been so long, I don't really remember, but you kind of get used to not having sleep. And I don't know how to describe it, because like as an athlete, if I get 7 hours instead of 8, I feel like I can't function. But there was a time, a really long time, when I was only getting like 5 hours of sleep. So I don't know how we do it. I mean, you're doing it right now.
Yeah, but I'm also not an athlete. I basically just like have to survive long enough to get my first cup of coffee, get to the office and get my second cup of coffee, and just kind of, you know, just plod along with plenty. If you'll notice, I have my water bottle and my caffeine here. That I don't go anywhere without these two things.